Good morning. It would have been Christmas Day 25 years ago, thereabouts. We hosted Christmas Day with one half of the family at home. It was a great morning. We had lunch together, we exchanged gifts, we played games, ball games, and dogs were involved. It was a good morning and an early afternoon. Mid-afternoon we packed the car and traipsed off to the second part of the family's Christmas gathering that evening. Again, it was a great time of celebration, of festivities. We arrived home tired, exhausted, exhilarated, about 9:30. There were two sleepy kids and my grandmother who came to stay a few days with us. We pulled into the driveway, parked the car and got out, and it was silent. And I didn't quite register at the time, but it was quiet. Got the kids and carried them into bed and laid them down, put them to bed. Showed Nan to her room, and while Susan went out to find the dogs and let them in and feed them, she came running in and said, "I can't find them. I've looked everywhere and I've called out, but I discovered the gates open. I think the dogs have gotten out. They're not here." So we quickly told Nan that she was in charge of the house to get whatever she needed if she needed anything, and we were going looking for the dogs. Susan drove the car and I walked, and we traversed the neighbourhood, looking in wherever we could think of, whatever places we could think. We drove and walked wherever. After a while, Susan found me and said, "Look, I found Naomi." Naomi was the collie, the older dog. Our younger one, though, Nehemiah, a golden retriever, was still missing. She'd called Naomi, she'd come over and jumped into the car. She said, "Look, take us home. I'll settle her down. I'm exhausted, I can't do any more. You can go out and look for more if you want." So I drove them home, got the car and kept going. Everywhere I could think of that Nehemiah might be, but I couldn't find him anywhere. I just couldn't see him. I don't know how late it was, 11:30, maybe midnight. I crashed, exhausted, into bed, still worried about this dog who was missing. Where could he be? Had he fallen in a ditch? Had he gone down into the creek? Had he run out on the main road and been hit? Was he in someone's yard and got locked in? Was he taken by someone who liked this cute young golden retriever? I fell asleep and woke up, not too early but not late either, and thought, it's light, I'll go out and see if I can find Nehemiah. Maybe in daylight he'll be more readily available, present, we'll see him. So I quickly got dressed and went, opened the front door, went to step out, and nearly tripped over this light brown furry ball lying on the doorstep. He was there. I called his name and he kind of opened an eye and looked up and then closed it again. He was obviously exhausted. I helped get him up and walk him inside and took him to the water bowl, and he had this long drink. Then he went in the corner and just dropped and went to sleep. I went and told Susan. We were so relieved, so happy to see our dogs back safe and sound where they should be. I don't know what the dog's feeling was. I don't know whether dogs have a sense of being lost. I don't know whether there was panic or what. I don't even know whether they knew they were lost. But whether he knew it or not, he was lost. I don't know what point you'd call them lost, whether it was when they walked out and down the street. They were on the way to being lost, whether they knew it or not. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling from being in places. It might be a new place we've visited and I've gone for a walk and I think I've known where I've been heading, but I've taken a wrong path somewhere. And I don't know that I'm lost as I'm walking along that path, merrily looking around and enjoying myself. But it comes a point where I realise I don't know where I am and I'm not where I thought I was going to be, and I don't know what to do. Or when I'm driving somewhere and I think I know where I'm going and I'm heading in the right direction, but I take a turn that's not the right turn, and I'm happily driving down that road until I realise I actually don't know where I am. And I'm lost. I'm lost. And it's that point I need some outside help, whether it's Google Maps on the phone or a street directory, or looking at the street signs and hopefully finding something that makes sense, or when in sheer desperation I stop and ask someone, "Where am I? Can you help me to get to place X?" When I'm lost, I need help. but I'm not always aware that I know that I am lost. The other side of it was us, the owners of the dogs. We knew they were lost from the time we got home and they weren't there. They weren't where they should be and they were lost. And we were worried about them, concerned for their welfare and their being. We went searching for them, and when we found them, we were relieved. We were happy, we rejoiced, we celebrated. It was a source of great excitement. These dogs were lost and now they're found. They were where they shouldn't be, but now they were home. And it was great. And this week, Jesus, in Luke's story of Jesus, tells 3 stories, and we deal with the first 2. There's this shepherd who's got 100 sheep, and he's out and the sheep are eating the grass, I guess, and the time comes to gather them in and take them to a safe place for the night. And when he gets there, he counts them, and there's only 99. One's missing, and he looks and he knows the one that's missing. I don't know, maybe it's the one that always gets lost and is always astray, or maybe whoever it is, he knows that one sheep's lost and he knows who it is. So he leaves the 99 in a safe place and he toddles off to find the one that's lost. And he looks everywhere until he finds that sheep. And when he does, he's relieved and overjoyed. He puts the sheep on his shoulders and carries it home, and there's a celebration. He invites friends and neighbours in to celebrate. The sheep that was lost is now found. The 100 sheep are together and safe. Likewise, there's a woman who has 10 silver coins, maybe part of a dowry, the gift when she got married, and she might wear them around her neck. She takes her 10 silver coins out, but one's missing. There's only 9. And she panics. She puts the 9 down in a safe place and turns the house upside down, sweeps and brooms and looks in nooks and crannies and crevices and anywhere she can until she finds that silver coin, that one coin that's missing. And she puts it together with the other 9 and it's a full set again. And she invites the friends and neighbours in to celebrate. The coin was lost, but now it's found. Now, I don't know whether the sheep knew it was lost. Maybe it did. Maybe it's barring everywhere, trying to call out for help. But certainly the coin didn't know it was lost. But nevertheless, it was lost. And the owner, whether it's the shepherd or the woman, search and search until they find. And these stories say something about what God is like. They also say something about what we're like. You know, as I said, I'm sometimes lost, whether it's walking or driving or whatever. But it's not just in those moments. I'm sometimes lost in my being, spiritually or emotionally or in terms of work or life. You know, when I get bad news, when I experience grief and loss, I feel lost. When I get bad news or see the news on the TV, the violence and the hatred and the warfare and the killing, I feel lost. What's going on? When we try something new and it doesn't work, and I feel lost, what do we do? Where do we go? Coming out of COVID, leading churches or just being in this world that's changing and turned upside down, and we feel lost. When we have a bad day and we feel lost, or you know, something goes wrong, God, where are you? What's going on? There's this sense of being lost and not quite knowing where I am or what I'm doing or the way forward. We feel lost and we need help. I need help from wise leaders, wise mentors, people who can show me the way, who have been there before, who have the wisdom of life and faith and spirit. And I need the help of the one who holds everything. The one who is on the other side of that story, the one who is the shepherd, the good shepherd, or the woman of the house, or in the third story that we've talked about earlier in the year, the father of the son, the prodigal son, the one who takes his inheritance before his father's dead, wishes him dead, and chuffs off to experience life and lives it up and spends all his money and loses all his friends and descends to the pits, until he comes to his senses and decides to go home and beg his father's mercy and forgiveness and become a servant in the household. But he discovers in that moment that the father says, no, you're my son. You've always been my son. When you hated me, when you rejected me, you're still my son. and it's this father figure, this mother or this woman in the household, this shepherd. It's these figures who search and search for the lost one, who wait patiently for the lost one, who represents God. God who loves us and will not let us go, who is there every moment of our journey and seeks us out, and is constantly there, present, waiting for us to open our hearts and lives in faith and love and hope to the source of life that will hold us. And these stories say something about God who loves us. When we found the dogs, we celebrated, rejoiced. We were not only relieved, but it was that's wonderful. God is like that, only more so. And this is not a story just for the church reaching out to bring in people who are not part of the church. It's all of us. We all get lost in our lives. We all lose our way and lose our meaning and lose our purpose and lose our sense of whatever. And God is there inviting us home, inviting us back to the place where we belong, where we can flourish and be more fully who we are created to be. And we live in this love that is God. And that's what Jesus is inviting us into. That God loves us and invites us home to the place where we can and should be. How about you? Will you follow in this way of Jesus? Will you accept his invitation into love and to life, into the flourishing? Amen.